You know, I just want Sideshow to read a book to me. You know, I want him
It's a great voice.
Yeah, you know, so if he has a whole script, just let him read it, Puckett. Just let him read it.
those stats that he read out on Winston play from Fact Fiction in Fate are pretty telling, because that's something that you can definitely see over the last few weeks with Fate. But I think it's got more to do with just Immortals. Like, I mean, their ult usage is kind of out of whack. You know, some of their I think it's just
heavy debate.
It's a teamwork thing. I don't know how much you pin that on Fate.
Oh, they do say teamwork makes the dream work. You know,
and right now they don't have any dreams.
No. Oof.
Well,
Dream
I mean,
crusher.
they're 0-2.
Yeah, and
they have a good chance to win this one, though. Sideshow believes.
I do think Immortals, you know, takes this one. If you know, given that, I do agree with Sideshow on that. I do think, you know, I'm pumped to see Kareev on the Sombra if he decides to bust it out here.
Yeah, and I think on the side, it'll be FaZe Clan starting on defense first. It looks like at least we'll see Raucus running the Sombra. So, Sombra obviously very good on Volskaya Industries. I think for Immortals, I'm interested to see what they do on offense. I know potentially, you know, maybe you see Doomfist here. You know, maybe you see Agilities could go with Genji. I know Doomfist has just been a real kind of disruptor, right? Like on the maps where you can get like close quarters, like, you know, a map like Nepal, or even I know something like Hanamura, right? In that first point where you can really just knock players back and make a difference. I think that's where you can see, I know, Doomfist make an impact. But I think on a map like this, with so many teams, you know, let's say on the defensive end, right? You see the Sombra, they're going to play around that mega health pack. You know, maybe you see the Doomfist get effective in there, but you're diving into, you know, 3-4 people. And then on the other side, if you don't have the Sombra, you know, maybe they're playing up top, and then Doomfist, I mean, he can get up there, but he has to use the uppercut, and then he's down an ability to get out of harm's way. So I think this is a map where you may not see as much Doomfist. I think you may see Immortals, you know, have Agilities, you know, maybe go with Genji here.
And that will, well, Agility is actually going to use the Tracer out of the gate, it seems like, and Raucus with the Sombra for FaZe, and they're going to try and see if they can leverage that EMP to be a pain in the neck for them to get through.
Well, I think it's just more you want the Grim on the 76 so you can get him up top, and they've actually slept Raucus here in the back line. Going to use the Translocator, though, to get out. So you want the 76 here to get up top, and then, you know, Agilities, he's going to be running Tracer, obviously, you know, trying to get the flanks in the back line. See, so they're going to try and get Grim Reality set up on this high ground where he can just rain down bullets here on the 76.
Yeah, this is about, you know, par for the course of what you see with Soldier 76 on Volskaya Industries. He gets that high ground, he gets control, but fortunately for him, he gets hacked. So just needs to, you know, be smart here, and he does get actually pushed up on, and that's going to be Fact Fiction falling. So interestingly enough, right, you know, dying first in that fight. We had talked about it before, how Fate is typically that kind of a person. You know, he was, what, under 9% there, Fact Fiction plus 24, but he engaged, didn't really have anything with it. And now this is going to be Immortals really looking to put the punishing on to FaZe and force them back here, and this is looking to be a cap.
Well, Fact Fiction jumps up top, and we've seen this, you know, how teams have played on the defensive end over the last few weeks. They'll have their Winston jump up top, but then they have the Diva just fly right up with the defense matrix. That time, though, Spree was on their mega health pack trying to, you know, help Raucus build towards that EMP. He's not there to give that defense matrix to Fact Fiction. He falls right at the beginning. It'll be Immortals taking point A. So now you have Immortals building up some ults here as well. Sound Barrier, Nano Boost, Primal Rage. They're going to get very close to Attack Visor. They have to be careful, though, not to get caught in an EMP.
Oh, and Agilities saw that Translocator, too. I mean, surely he saw the Translocator on the floor from Raucus. So I'm guessing that they're going to be expecting that one there, especially if they try and hover around it. Still continuing to poke out as much as they can. And now we can potentially see the attack coming out here for Immortals, as they're going to put pressure onto Joe Meister here. Joe Meister so close to that sound barrier, X.
So what they did on the side of Immortals is they played Verbo a little bit back. They baited the EMP in, and then they follow through with that sound barrier, and it works to perfection. So you see the kills going in favor of Immortals. It's going to be Fact Fiction using a Primal Rage here, trying to knock players back for Immortals as they're on point B.
This was very well done from Immortals. forcing them back, just baiting them into those plays. Shadowburn, though, Dragon Blade is out as he looks to dive in and get some kills. Will pick off agilities, but the fight still continues to rage on, and Immortals getting the kill. Shadowburn is going to go down, and you have Winston there all by himself in the back line. He's going to just rage out. Primal Rage, putting the pressure, forcing everyone to have to go back. They're keeping this fight going. I think they're so close to that tick, but I don't know if they managed it. They did get it.
Yeah, so they get the tick there. For the side of Immortals, you use a ton of ultimates, but at the beginning of the fight, they show up on the high ground. They had Verbo just wait on the backside, and then as soon as the EMP comes in, that's when he led through with the sound barrier. But you get onto the point, Fact Fiction stays alive with a Primal Rage, you get Shadowburn with a Blade, Carpe with a Pulse Bomb, and you're able to pull that fight out for the side of FaZe Clan. So now FaZe, Raucus, he's going to build up another EMP. You're going to see that ability online quite a bit. For the side of Immortals, you use a ton of ultimates in that fight. You were only able to get one tick. Now right here, you may get a nano boost, but you see an EMP come out, and now you're just going to have to disengage for the side of Immortals. So even though you lose agilities here, you back up, you get an EMP out from the side of FaZe Clan. It's not the worst thing in the world for Immortals.
No, not at all, right? They baited out the EMP, but now they're just going to go right in there, and I think he's hoping he's going to get that tack visor any second now. Is able to make it happen, and here goes the tack visor. Sound barrier, though, is going to drop for FaZe Clan, and Fate right in there puts the pressure on. Joe Meister, no support for you, as he will go down. But for the time being, this will be FaZe holding this one off. They're still continuing to push forward on the point here and seeing if they can make any sort of progress. And they're just disengaging, waiting for their teammates. Another EMP is going to drop as well. Raucus, this is going to be the time where you just have to get out of dodge. And that is exactly what Immortals will have to do here.
Yeah, once Fate dies to self-destruct, Immortals, they try and get out of no harm's way. But Raucus with another EMP, they're able to demech. I know Envy.
You saw that EMP came out so fast, they were just like, nope, not dealing with it.
Okay, so now to deal with this Sombra, you have Grim Reality. He'll go over to the Reaper. You're going to have agilities now go over to Doomfist. So you see some changes coming in for the side of Immortals. Kareev also, he's going to pull out a Sombra of his own, try and get control of these mega health packs, stop Raucus from farming this EMP, get one of their own.
To be so careful not to take any damage here. Play this one out. Health pack as well. See, maybe they could take out Fact Fiction early in the fight, and they're able to do so. And now it will just be Kareev. If they can take out the defense matrix, that will be big for them too. They're going to drop the beat as well. And now this is going to be a prime opportunity, but Shadowburn's going to go in there with 2. He takes out 4, and that is exactly why you want a man like Shadowburn on your team. He will just tip the odds in your favor at the drop of a hat, and they're going to stay alive and continue to hold on in this fight.
Oh, so they actually, I was wrong. They didn't get the tick on the last one. You were right.
Yeah,
Shadowburn.
Yeah.
So Shadowburn there just waits for Immortals to just kind of push onto the point. They've already used Sound Barrier, and then he comes through with the Dragon Blade, takes out 4 players. See Kareev getting closer.
And they were able to take out tanks early too.
Yeah,
in that fight.
Kareev getting closer to a EMP here, and on the side of FaZe Clan, you have Raucus getting very close to the EMP. You like Grim Reality on the Reaper, because obviously if he gets EMP, Reaper's still very effective when that dive comes through.
Kareev hacking health packs, 64%. The EMPs play such a critical role in these games. We've seen it just really change the course of a battle here. And he won't be able, he's going to try and hack, but he won't be able to hack because he's just getting shot up. And he was really just trying to continue to build up ult. There you go. The ult comes through. And the EMP, though, actually on the other side, though, for FaZe Clan. And then Kareev is going to answer back with an EMP of his own. Self-destruct, flying in the air. Does he get anything with it? Forces people back, though. And now, this is going to be all Immortals on the point. Fate trying to take out some of the tanks there as well, those squishy supports in the back line. That will be Joe Meister. No, you will not be able to stay alive there. They do manage to get their first tick, though, and oh, my goodness, Fate. He's just going to get sent flying away there. And Immortals will have to go back to the drawing board here yet again, but they do manage to get that first tick.
Yeah, FaZe gives up the tick, but they don't invest Sound Barrier into it. You're going to get another EMP. Fact Fiction, coming off the spawn, smart enough to realize does not need to use the Primal Rage and knock players back here. So, FaZe Clan will have a ton of ultimates coming into this next fight. Agilities does have the Meteor Strike. You're going to get a Death Blossom too, probably an EMP of your own. It's just, where do you get your Reaper into position to really make that Death Blossom work? That, as you're under a minute to go here for Immortals.
Less than 1 minute remaining. Raucus waiting for the prime opportunity to drop the EMP, nullify them completely. Here comes Immortals, attacking on the point. They're just going to hack out Kariv. So Kariv, he won't be much of a factor in this fight. They're going to have to back away. But I think they will have time for Kariv to get back into this fight and then re-engage. It's just going to be really close to the wire here.
Yeah, I mean, Verbo is going to get close to a sound barrier, and the issue is they've engaged with the sound barrier. Raucus is going to eliminate that with the EMP. A lot of ultimates online here for both teams. Look for the EMPs to be huge, sound barriers, who can time those right. Not that get those shields eliminated. Then the two big DPS ults here. You're going to see Grim Reality with the Death Blossom, Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade.
Last chance for Immortals. 6 seconds remaining. Can they make it happen? It's going to be very difficult for them to do so here. No EMPs dropped just yet. They're waiting. They're waiting for those EMPs to go down before they can engage. Sound barrier actually is going to drop on both sides. EMP is going to go down too. That's going to eliminate the shields and all of the abilities there as well. It will be nothing but FaZe. Shadowburn tears right through them with the Dragon Blade, and that will be FaZe holding it down. Immortals barely got to 50, almost 50%, 49.9 on that second cap. Good job on the hold from FaZe.
Well, it's tough for Immortals there because both teams, they knew that the other team had an EMP. They didn't want to invest the sound barrier at the start. Kariv opens things up, EMPs, and then they use a sound barrier of their own, probably hoping they caught Raucus in that EMP so he can't EMP of his own. He comes back, EMPs everybody. Immortals, they lose all the shields, they lose all the chances of using any of their other ultimate abilities. Then Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade just cuts right through him. So there you see just how powerful the EMP can be, especially in a confined area when you have that sound barrier, to use. You don't want to get those shields negated. Right there, the time and just the spacing, where they had to fight in worked against Immortals.
All right, folks. A little interesting setup here. Agilities swapping over to the Sombra Kariv on the 76. They're going to go with the solo support on Verbo, perhaps. And we'll see what they end up doing here. That would be interesting. I could see Agilities really showing up with that. Although it is odd that they wouldn't put Kariv on it, because Kariv is a pretty good Sombra. But
we'll see. Obviously, still some time for them to make some changes. I know Fate just keeps jumping off the side of the map, so not entirely sure what he's going to roll with. It looks like on the side of FaZe Clan, at least right now, you have Shadowburn on Doomfist, Carpe on Tracer. So with the comp that they have, may not be too interested in taking that high ground. Nobody like a 76 or a McCree who can really take advantage of it. For Immortals, we'll see. This should be what they're going to go with. So you do have Verbo. He is solo on the Lucio, but still you get Agilities on the Sombra, who can act as a secondary support.
All right. Doors will open. Time for FaZe to push up. We're going to see pretty standard here. Doomfist coming out for Shadowburn. No Genji. I'm telling you, this is just weird to not see Shadowburn with the Genji. He really likes playing this Doomfist as well. I think what they're hoping for is really to see if anyone tries to challenge him in the back lines, maybe push away the tanks. And if you have a Diva that's kind of out of position, Shadowburn could punish it, and you could get him out of there and really affect this team.
Yeah, I think the one advantage of having the Doomfist here is that you see when he's attacking in towards this mega health pack room, I mean, Doomfist has such a nice one-shot kill potential, and that's exactly why. I mean, when you know they're going to have a Sombra and play off that mega health pack, you're just able to get these one-shot kills with Doomfist, which swings fights in your favor. You see everybody falling here for Immortals. Looks like it's Kariv up top here on the 76. He won't be alive very long. So that is why you go with the Doomfist here on point one. When you know the other team is not going to go for the high ground, they're going to play around that mega health pack. You get Doomfist inside as a disruptor. Maybe he lands, a rocket punch, a one-shot kill, just like you saw. FaZe Clan Shadowburn get right there. You get full control of point A.
Yeah, they have no choice. You have to, falter back. You have to go in turtle, and then you're just going to get punched in the face. It's like really difficult to play against.
Well, you're not even falling back. I mean, that is the
strategy you're playing.
That's the strategy of Immortals. You're trying to play around that health pack. So you put yourself in that position, and Doomfist is a great hero to take advantage of it.
Agilities will have EMP. Let's see if they can kind of replicate the same success that FaZe had. Their opponents on the other side trying to hold them off the entire time, but the EMP is going to go down. That's going to force FaZe back. Grim Reality takes out Joe Meister there, and health packs to pick up as well for FaZe. So good job from Agilities, really just zoning them out, not giving them much to work with there when they go in on the approach. Now they're just going to have to back away here.
Yeah, they get Carpe really weak. They can't finish the kill off, though, as Immortals now back up. They got aggressive after the EMP come in. Shadowburn is now switched over from Doomfist to Genji. So now that you moved on from point A, a lot of open area here, not a lot of opportunity for those one-shot rocket punches to come in for Doomfist. You go back over to the Genji, what Shadowburn's known for. Agility's farming this ult really quick, getting very close to another EMP, and then there's a lot of other ultimates here for Immortals. You're going to see Joe Meister lead the way, though, with a sound barrier for FaZe Clan.
And Carpe, pulse bomb onto Karib. You're going to lose out on the 76 in the fight, and now FaZe, this is looking pretty good for them as they manage to take out 3 members of Immortal. Remember, they only have to get to that yellow tick, and that will be a victory for them. D.Va Self-Destruct is going to try and see if they can zone people out of the point here because they don't want them to get that tick, because if they do get that first tick, that means that the next fight or the next couple fights with the amount of time they have left on the clock will really, really be a pain in the neck to hold down. And they haven't made it happen, so they invested a lot into that fight, Immortals, but they still managed to maintain that sound barrier. And on the other side for FaZe, let's see how they set up for this next one, X.
The sound barrier will be huge because you'll need that to withstand the Dragon Blade coming in for Shadowburn. FaZe Clan, they have made no progress on point B. You see they just need to get to that golden tick. Agility still farming up this EMP rather fast.
And he hacked that Mega too on the left, so if they try and like drop back after the EMP comes out, they could follow it up and get more kills and continue to farm ultimate. They got to be a little cautious. If you are FaZe here, and here comes Shadowburn on the push, and he's just such a great Genji. I mean, we can always count on this guy to get kills. Onto the back line, though, trying to deflect. He has the Shadow Blade, the Dragon Blade left there. Carpe, in fact, Fiction, though. They're going to eliminate Envy from this, so no D.Va for them, but there goes the EMP now. And does FaZe continue to push up on the attack? It seems like the answer is very obvious. Yes, they do. Dragon Blade's going to be out now. And Shadowburn's going to cut through them, and they manage to make it happen. And that's going to be 2-1 as FaZe will get the victory there. Good job from them as they pushed up. They were committed to the fight, even with the EMP coming out. They knew they had the upper hand.
Yeah, I think you see the patience that comes out from Shadowburn, though, knows that there's a sound barrier on the other side, does not want to put that Dragon Blade into it right away. And then Immortals, they try and hold on to the sound barrier because obviously they know that Blade is coming eventually. The issue is a few players drop for Immortals. They're forced to use the sound barrier, forced to use the EMP. And then, I mean, you're so worried about the Blade, it doesn't really make that big of a difference in the end. You already had a few players fall. It's just the threat of the Shadowburn Dragon Blade that really throws things in FaZe Clan's favor there.
Yeah, well, there you go. FaZe, they go up 2-1, 1 game away. And this was the game that everyone said on the desk Immortals would win. There was a lot of confidence from Sideshow and Gillfrost.
I mean, obviously a different map, but I believe last week, it was FaZe Clan who was able to defeat Envy on Hanamura, and I believe everybody thought they would lose the Assault last week as well. So I know back-to-back wins on Assault there for FaZe Clan there.
Yeah.
So now just 1 map away from taking this series against Immortals. And we talked about how big of a match this is for Immortals. Obviously, 0-2 right now. You lose this one, 0-3. You have Rogue as well this weekend. Not be good for Immortals.
No, I can't believe it. I really can't. A lot of the guys, ZP, Bren, Sideshow, everyone said like, oh, these players, like they tend to turn up, midway through the season. And now you're in a position where they won't even be able to turn up because they probably won't even get into the playoffs with the rate that they're going at.
It's hard. I mean, you get off to a slow start. I mean, there's only 7 games in the season. It's not really that many games where you lose 0-2 and you're like, oh, well, you still have a bunch of games left. It's like, not really. I mean, especially with this week where they get 2 matches. I mean, they're going to be more than 50% done with their season after this week. And I know if they're going to win this series, it's going to be in a Game 5. They'll need to take Dorado here. Force that control, which I know they did win the first control. So that would be kind of, bode well for the side of Immortals. But still, you don't want to keep going and putting so much pressure on yourselves to get in these type of situations.
Yeah, I tell you, X, I honestly, I didn't think we'd be in this position for Immortals. I'm a little shocked. So much talent on this team. I mean, it's a ton of talent, right? But I think you're running up against a FaZe Clan team who, they're 1-1. But I think their performance last week against Envy was, pretty impressive. That's true.
And then obviously you get Shadowburn, playing now in North America, on a better connection. I think that definitely makes a little bit of an impact. And I think what you're seeing though is FaZe Clan, their ultimates are on point.
They're really coming together here.
Yeah, you've seen some really off stuff the last 2 weeks. Immortals looks much better today. Still, might not be enough here to be FaZe.
Yeah, and it may not be enough for them to make it to the playoffs. If you're a FaZe fan, though, you were really happy with how this squad is playing. So far, so good. Up 2-1. The only person who believed in him, Reinforce. The only person. He was the lone soldier for FaZe. All right, well, let's see what we're going to get here from the defense. X, anything you see thus far that's catching your attention? Seems pretty standard.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really, right? You expect FaZe Clan to play, pretty close on the rooftop. Contest this at first and then try and back up. The side of Immortals, I guess the biggest thing would be to talk about what Agilities is playing, whether it's Doomfist or Genji. This time he's going to go with Genji. Now Grim Reality will be running Tracer.
All right. As FaZe begins their defensive hold here, you have Fate who's diving in there. He's so close to being able to take out Shadowburn, but he is going to get pushed back, actually booped away by Joe Meister. And they're going to get one of their other members sleep darted as well. I think that was Envy who was taking a nap on the floor. But Raucus just kind of caught between a rock and a hard place as he will go down. Fate getting the kills, and this is what you want from Fate. Talked about him before being that player who died first in a lot of these engagements, but very smart and just well done overall from the attacking team.
Yeah, I mean, with how aggressive FaZe was playing, not too surprising they're going to get another shot at this. But Grim Reality will have a pulse bomb. Kariv getting closer and closer to Transcendence. We'll see if Grim can land a big pulse bomb at the beginning of this fight. Maybe able to connect on to Spree, get him very close to getting demeched.
Oh, he got sniffed out. They saw him right at the top, though. It gets booped away as well, so he's just going to have to force back. But there you go again. Goes right in, drops the pulse bomb. Nothing will come from that, though. Supports are going to be really in a bad spot, though. And Immortals are able to get 4 kills and the point. And that's a lot of time left here for the attacking team.
Yeah, Spree catches that pulse bomb with the defense matrix, but doesn't really make much of a difference. Faint back there with the Primal Rage, knocking players back. FaZe Clan never got back to the payload to contest. So now Immortals, you win that first point. Now you're going down the streets phase. It'll be Agilities with a Dragon Blade here. Both support ults coming online for both teams. And we'll see who can use those to better effect to extend these fights, give their team the advantage.
And Immortals, just, see if they can get in their face to try and get that payload further across. And there comes the Transcendence. I believe a pulse bomb was dropped from Carpe as well, and that prompted that Transcendence there because maybe he was concerned that it was going to be near him, though. Sound barrier as well. And this is Immortals trying to make it happen. But no, you're going to get picked off, though. Needless to say, it will be Immortals getting the upper hand, though, thus far, getting kills. Shadowburn uses the Dragon Blade, 1 shot remaining, and he will be cleaned up. Only player left alive will be D.Va, will be Spree, and he just gets melted. And this is going to be a winnable fight, this was a winnable fight for Immortals out of the gate, and they executed wonderfully.
Yeah, and Joe Meister uses the sound barrier there for FaZe Clan, so you really have nothing to deal with this Dragon Blade that's going to come out for Agilities. So we'll see when Agilities decides to pop this blade as Kariv able to take out Carpe here at the beginning of this fight.
Just got to also appreciate how Grim Reality is really forcing back the supports. They had to use the Primal Rage so that they could try and see if they can get on top of the point, but more progress being made here for Immortals with the payload. Nano boost as well for Fact Fiction, forcing everyone to go back, but so far so good.
Yeah, and I mean, you see it's Immortals, they're disengaging, right? You know that the nano boosted Winston coming right at you, and there's not much you can do. Shadowburn.
Yeah, you just play it back. You have so much time.
He's able to get one, but I mean, look at how many ultimates that Immortals is going to have here. I mean, still you don't have Joe Meister close to the sound barrier. Now you're going to have a sound barrier for the side of Immortals plus this blade. So that's really when they can get Agilities in a position to cause a lot of damage here with the Dragon Blade. It's Immortals looking to advance the payload to the final stage.
He found his target. He found his target. He went right into the back line, and that was going to have to prompt Spree to have to go back and support the tanks. And, oh, man, Carpe eliminates Kariv there. Envy, though, with 2, and that's going to be the supports taking a nap. And Immortals continuing on in this fight, though. They just got to push this payload. And for the time being, you have your D.Va, you have Spree just all over it, just delaying it as much as they can, not giving them as much time as I'm sure that they would like to be able to gain here. And Spree living on the point, but this is going to be Immortals continuing on.
FaZe Clan, though, will have Fact Fiction with the Primal Rage if they want to invest it. You see him backing up, though, on your screen. It's going to go probably for a different approach here, as you're going to see Fact Fiction now get onto the payload. It's going to be the Sound Barrier and Dragon Blade coming in for Immortals.
And FaZe, they went for the pincer. They tried to circle around the payload and see if they could force some mistakes out of Immortals, but they dropped the beat, they get the kills, and now they are right there. All they got to do is take out Spree with the D.Va. He's trying to delay this. 1 minute and 49 seconds. You have a bit more pressure, though, coming out of the side of FaZe. They're trying to hold this one off. The Primal Rage keeps them, but they're going to re-engage in this fight. Joe Meister's going to go right to it. They want to see if they can bring that time down as much as they possibly can. They're right there, though, and that's going to be a point.
He uses the Sound Barrier there, Joe Meister, but there's nobody else to help follow it up. So they really get nothing out of that Sound Barrier. You would have liked to have that ultimate back here.
I feel like they were just delaying the inevitable there.
Well, I think maybe, you think you have another tank there alive, maybe Spree, able to stay alive a little bit longer, and you use that Sound Barrier to get right back into the fight, but he uses the Sound Barrier and then realizes that there's nobody else there. So now we'll see Immortals advancing the payload. FaZe Clan, though, you do have the Nano Blade at your disposal. You see it's going to be Fact Fiction going in deep. He's going to get the benefits of the Nano boost, but he's taken out right away.
That hurts. You lose out on Fact Fiction with Nano. I mean, that's just a lot of disruption in the back line that they were hoping to accomplish. And so far, Immortals have been doing, everything right. Everything that you could possibly want out of this team. And they've been exploiting the small mistakes that FaZe have been giving them. And so far, so good.
Now Immortals, they'll have a Sound Barrier here for this next fight. I know no support ults on the side of FaZe Clan, as you see Raucus now switch over from Ana to the Zenyatta. This is a fight that Immortals should be able to take here, but Shadowburn able to get one with the Dragon Blade. Agility's answered back with one of his own.
Yeah.
So Immortals still has a few ultimates. Verbo does drop, though, with the Sound Barrier.
They're so close. They're so close to being able to make this one happen, though, X. Oh, and there goes the pulse bomb. Fact Fiction knew it was happening. It was right on his face. Joe Meister just trying to delay it, just seeing if he can keep his team in this one. They're so close to it, though. They might be able to make this one happen right there as Shadowburn drifted away from the point. He couldn't get back to it in time to hold it, and that is going to be 3 points for Immortals. A good attack for this team.
Yeah, and if you're FaZe Clan, you never got that Sound Barrier back towards the end. I think Joe Meister ends the game at like 75%, so the one Sound Barrier they used to try and contest that second point.
They really could have used it.
Really could have used it there towards the end of that match. But
I think he thought that, because Fact Fiction was Primal Raging in front of the point.
Maybe he was able to keep him alive a little bit longer.
I think he thought that he was going to be able to get to it quickly.
Yeah.
But they just, I mean, then again, though, I mean, I don't even think he ended up dying there like super early. That was a very odd Sound Barrier from Joe, and for a player of his caliber, I'm sure that there was a reason that he went for it.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. There's got to be a reason he decided to use the Sound Barrier there. Whether he thought he could, keep his teammate alive that was on the payload contesting it, or whether he thought he had, a few. Maybe he thinks he's got like 2 or 3 players behind him. You're able to catch those guys. Just kind of push forward, but nonetheless, does not work out for FaZe Clan as Immortals able to complete the map. 1 minute and 31 in the time bank. So, see 4 Immortals here on the defensive end. At least at the start, it looks like you'll see Agilities on the Sombra pick, so looks like he's going to try and hack that Mega up top, and Kariv running the 76.
Yeah, and that Mega will be very good for Shadowburn, because Shadowburn, with the Genji, you're able to climb the walls, dive into the back lines. Carpe can also take advantage of it too, if he tries to, push up onto the bridge. And I think, I like that. I like the denial of the Mega, because you would have to force the Genji to go all the way back. They're anticipating holding this one for a substantial amount of time here, especially with those EMPs. So I like this. I want to see how this one plays out.
Well, yeah, I think Immortals, the health packs, back over in the market area. I think those are the health packs that you really want to be able to control. Those are the ones that will be able to farm for the EMP. But you see, it'll be Fate dropping down the cart. He'll contest here for just a short bit, and then as soon as he starts to take some damage, you see the defense matrix there from right above him, going to keep him alive. He's going to back out, and he'll get that Mega health pack that we saw Agility's hack at the beginning of the game. So you see how Agility's has started to get a lot towards his EMP already.
Yeah, and again, with Sombra, you build up on that so quickly, but Kariv is actually going to be taken out here, and so far, Immortals, despite losing Kariv, they're continuing to maintain this one. And
Kariv takes himself out.
Yeah, he took himself out. So, he didn't even need FaZe to do that one. So a good first hold for Immortals thus far.
Yeah, FaZe Clan tries to engage on them up top. They're not able to win any of those engagements, as now Immortals, they'll have an EMP to work with here. They'll have a pulse bomb. And now they'll get Kareev back into the fight as well, as he can be on the 76 up top, doing some damage. And now Shadowburn's just trying to figure out how he wants to go about attacking this, where the dive comes in. And there's going to be an EMP right on the cart there for Immortals.
And they just want to get the tanks out of there, and wisely enough, just forcing them back. So again, this is what I was talking about at the start of the game. Agilities with the EMP. We saw it play such a role on Volskaya, and now you're seeing it here yet again. This has been very tough for FaZe to be able to push. They struggle, and look at that. He just used EMP. He's already at 50%.
Yeah, because now he has the health packs hacked in the back underneath the opposite side of the bridge. So now you control that area of the map if you're Immortals. With a very good defensive hold here. You will have FaZe Clan, though, starting to get some ultimates, in their own favor. Shadowburn specifically with that Dragon Blade and both support ults. But Immortals is stacked here, as they're going to get another EMP, and they'll have a sound barrier and tac visor of their own.
Immortals, his fate actually forced out the Primal Rage because you had that pulse bomb land on him. Grim Reality as well, getting 2 kills courtesy of the assist from the Sombra Agilities, staying alive as well despite the low health. And they're going to push them back yet again. 1 minute and 43 seconds left on the clock here. Still time to play with. They are going to have 2 support ults coming to this fight for FaZe Clan.
Yeah, and in the spot where the payload is, when you're FaZe Clan and you're moving it up and you get hit with the EMP, there's not a spot where you can get for cover. You're just in a lot of danger there, just in the wide open. And that allows, Kareev to put a lot of damage down, Agilities as well. And now you've already built up to basically another EMP here for Agilities, which you're going to have to negate the effects of the sound barrier on the side of FaZe.
Shadowburn and Dragon Blade. I think he's waiting for that prime opportunity to use it. And I know that he would like to take out the 76 there, and he is able to take out the 76. So mission accomplished. EMP will go down. Grim Reality, though, will take out Joe Meister. And I believe he dropped the beat, and that ended up eliminating all of the shields. Now it's going to be up to Shadowburn here with Dragon Blade. Does he get the kills? Dives right into the Winston, forcing him to have to disengage. They have bodies onto the payload, but now Envy just keeping this one going here, and they stop them. Less than a minute remaining, X. And so far, we could be going to an overtime game here.
Yeah, we could be going to a game 5. Kareev gets back in. He's going to have attack visor. Now, both teams use sound barrier in that fight. You see Raucus, he'll switch off with the Zenyatta. He'll go with the Ana. Kareev actually takes out Carpe here at the beginning. So FaZe Clan going to have to wait a little bit more, get their Tracer back into the fight. He's going to switch over to the 76. But FaZe Clan has nothing to work with here. Another EMP for Agilities. Tac visor as well. There comes the EMP.
The EMP is down, and with little time remaining, you need Shadowburn to get on the payload and just try and force out that overtime. Takes out Agilities here. He will have his D.Va with him, so they can try and see if they can whittle down the health of the enemy D.Va. But oh man, this is going to be a tall order to ask here for the attacking team. A tall order for FaZe Clan. Overtime is going to be in effect. They have to make this one happen here. It's getting close, and Immortals able to get the kills, forcing them back. So close to being able to win this one. Right back onto it as Fact Fiction. No Primal Rage to keep him into this fight, and they're going to make this one happen. Immortals will win it, and we are going to a game 5.
And I love what happened there for the side of Immortals. Kareev was able to take out Carpe, which forced FaZe Clan to back up. And then they take advantage of it, Immortals, because they go into that street right by where the payload, starts the map. They're able to use an EMP, and what do? They push Kareev all the way out with the tac visor. He's able to take out Carpe coming off spawn, and they're able to get Fact Fiction. And once they're able to pick up those kills, it really pushes everything in favor of Immortals, as they have now forced the game 5.
Well, here's Envy.
This is going to be the environmental kills, yeah. Taking both players out. They're right there, with D.Va, knocking them both off the side. But I thought right there, we talked a little bit about maybe the teamwork a little bit off for Immortals. Did not see any signs of it there. They looked phenomenal on Dorado.
Well, just to give everyone an update on how this works, in case you're joining us for Contenders for the very first time, basically we have to have a winner every single matchup. So while the players may play all 4 games, well, we have to have someone on top with 3 or 4 wins here. So our deciding matchup will be on Ilios, and this is going to be a first for North America, so yay.
First overall, I think.
No, it happened, I believe, on No, actually, yeah, you're
No,
right.
because they drawed.
They
That
draw.
series,
That's
yeah, it
right.
was
So
a draw.
yes,
It
you're
was not a
right.
game
You're
5,
right.
yeah.
So first overall, yeah. I knew
So
it was going
first
to happen in
overall
North
game
America
5,
eventually.
yeah, a must-win for Immortals. I mean, a ton of pressure on Immortals. I mean, even going into Dorado, they had a ton of pressure. They answered the call there. Can they do it again, though, in a game 5 here on Ilios?
I really like that Sombra strat. You know, I thought that was actually really cool. Agilities is really showed up as a Sombra here, and you know, just throwing some different looks right at FaZe and kind of throwing them off their game. Now we're going to get ready for Ilios here. Do we see some Pharah? Do we see? I mean, what? I don't even know like what we're gonna get right now.
I don't know. I think the biggest question is whether you see Doomfist from either of the Genji players. You're talking about Shadowburn on the side of FaZe Clan and then Agilities on the side of Immortals. Whether either of them decides to go with Doomfist on this map, I think that'll be really telling. I think Shadowburn. Now you could potentially see him run the Pharah on this one too. So we saw him run Pharah against Envy, obviously on Oasis, but there are still some very good Pharah points here on Ilios.
Yeah, Shadowburn and Pharah, a great combination. We saw it happen actually at the World Cup. He busted out the Pharah and you know, did some work with it. But all right, it's do or die time. You know, Immortals, they force this game 5. And here's the other thing. You know, Johnny over there, you know, he's feeling good because he did call 3-2. The question is, will it be 3-2 for FaZe? Pressure's on.
Oh, did that go in?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Not a bad shot there from Envy. As looks like I know Immortals still trying to figure out what they're going to go with. There's FaZe Clan. You see no Shadowburn on the Pharah. So on Well here, no Pharah. Pretty good pick. See if he can potentially knock somebody off. You saw Envy. He'll switch back to the Diva. So they'll have a mirror comps on both sides of things. Be a Pharah Mercy battle up in the sky. You see Agilities just trying to land some rockets here as players moving through the choke.
Yeah, and you just don't want to allow the Pharah to get that free farm, build up on the barrage. You'd also just don't want to like whittle down the health of the tanks. So it's something you got to be careful about. Now you're going to get that dogfight, that aerial battle between dueling Pharahs. And Fact Fiction having to back away despite going into the back lines there, looking to disrupt. FaZe so far on the point. Now this is going to be Immortals having to dive into this one and get in their faces. Do they have the presence to do so? Shooting everyone back here, and this fight's just going to continue on as Agilities. He's not really getting contested in the sky, and it also seems like they're not really trying to deal with the Pharah on the other end too. But if he takes out Shadowburn, that'll be big.
Yeah, he lands one rocket into Shadowburn, but you see, Noel, it's such a difficult map to get control, and then when you do, it's very difficult for the opposing team trying to get it right back. So you see Agility, so he will draw first blood here, taking out Fact Fiction. FaZe Clan does have the res, Karib with a res as well, and you see they're going to use that res, bring Fact Fiction into the fight, but it's going to be Agilities getting a DMAC and a kill there on the spree.
No Diva to work with. That means no defensive matrix, no tank on the point. Still, though, no one has been able to establish control. The beat has been dropped for Immortals as they're looking to force FaZe out of position, get the kills. So close to barrage here as well on both sides. Agilities is able to get the barrage. They do have a res, so they can keep themselves in the fight with a tempo resurrection if necessary. But this has just been a fight that really has felt like it's gone on forever. They lose out on that Diva, and now it's going to be FaZe answering back here. Do they go for the res? Karib goes right into it, finds Agilities, gets the res, barrage is out. No barrage for you, he says, as Grim Realities takes out Shadowburn there, so they don't really get much for it, and a barrage now for Agilities. And my goodness, this fight has just continued on. Spree staying alive as best he possibly could, but it seems like Red is starting to gain here on point B on Well, despite Agilities flying in the air, and that's gonna do it, my goodness.
Finally, we have a winner of that fight.
Yay!
As you see, FaZe Clan, they will take the point. Now you're going to see your second round of support ults coming online for FaZe Clan. You saw both rocket barrages used there. We saw both sound barriers, but now, at least on the side of FaZe, you're going to earn that ultimate ability back. It's just Grim Reality with a pulse bomb here. See if he can make something happen for Immortals. As this is a point, Goldenboy. You see how far back you can play, a lot of space on it. You can just kind of contest this for a very long time. It's going to be hard for Immortals to get it back. Agility so opens it up with a first kill there on a Shadowburn.
Oh, man. Nice play there. Taking out the Winston, or excuse me, the Diva as well as the Lucio. No supports, but Immortals still still continue to hover on the point here. They have bodies on it. Primal Rage won't matter. And this is looking to be a blue cap 47% game, though.
Well, FaZe Clan, they use the Resurrection to bring Spree and Shadowburn back into the fight, and Spree is actually taken out before he can even get back in his mech. So really, you're just getting Shadowburn back in the action. He wasn't able to do anything there. It's a big pulse bomb from Grim Reality that opened things up. Now, Immortals, I mean, you have a res of your own, you have a sound barrier, you have your rocket barrage, primal range.
Stay alive in this fight.
Yeah, you have a lot to work with here if you're Immortals.
And so far, no one challenging Agilities, just really getting as much of it as he can. He's not hitting anything, but he's just forcing them in positions that his teammates can eliminate them out of the equation. Right above Shadowburn, another Pharah v Pharah fight, and Shadowburn against that wall has to be super careful because of the splash damage. Oh, bye-bye, Spree. Right down the well you go. And Immortals continue to hold this one down. They will pass FaZe on percentage, and I think they're also just going to get even more for their troubles here. Kareev is going to do the tempo res and use it for Agilities, keeping them in this fight, keeping them with that man advantage. And there's Grim Reality. I mean, on the flank, you gotta love it when he's able to put the pressure onto the back lines the way that he's been able to do so here. Yeah,
you see, lands a pulse bomb there. It's going to be Raucus bringing Joe Meister back into the fight. Joe Meister does not have the sound barrier there, just using him to get that extra healing. Carpe lands a pulse bomb on Envy, so you get him demeched. Fate now pushing back into the enemy lines as you still have percentage here being gained for Immortals. Agility is coming back in with the rocket barrage as well. He's up in the sky putting down some damage.
It's just all about delaying. And look at that. They're going to get so close to 90% here. The barrage came out for Shadowburn and was able to take out Fate, so they don't have the revive. They don't have the resurrect. So I believe they're just going to have to concede this point, see if they can gain as much as they can. But this is going to be FaZe right back in the action here. They're going to, Grim Reality is going to reset Immortals back on the attack. And now let's see what FaZe can do here.
Carpe going to get a pulse bomb, Fact Fiction with the Primal Rage to stay alive. You have a self-destruct here as well. So now FaZe with a little bit of an ult advantage. You still have Agilities, though, with the Rocket Barrage. We'll see how he decides to use that Pharah ult. As we have another Pharah v Pharah battle in the sky. And actually, so it's one rocket that lands from Shadowburn on a Kareev, and then the self-destruct does enough damage to put him away.
Yeah, we won't have the Resurrect building up. Even though it's a very quick ultimate to build up for Mercy, you're not going to have it. 81%. They're gaining. They're so close to passing Immortals here, getting this first point on well, and it has been a battle, a duel between Pharahs in the sky and then a slugfest down on the ground. There goes the pulse bomb as well. That came courtesy of Grim Reality, really having to force Spree out of his mech, and now you don't have your Diva. Primal Rage in effect for Fate. Is he trying to bully people out of the point? Raucus with a res on Spree. Can Spree get back into his mech in time? Yes, he can. And now FaZe, they're right there, 99%. They've dropped the beat. They're going to get the shield. Shadowburn with the barrage. They're going to force out Envy from his mech now, and it is just getting so close to being able for them to get that first point on the board, X.
Yeah, Kareev's with the res here. Grim Reality trying to stay alive.
And they
maybe get him back into the fight. Not able to do so. It'll be FaZe Clan taking point one. You saw sound barriers drop from both teams. No, Grim Reality landed a nice pulse bomb on a Spree. You were able to demech him, but then the res comes in. You get him right back into the fight. Just getting that defense matrix back is so big there.
Yeah.
For the side of FaZe Clan. So now we'll see on Lighthouse if we see a change in terms of comps from either of these teams, or if they decide. So you see Agilities. He goes over to Doomfist now. As the point in such a small confined area, you're able to land some of those rocket punches, get those one shots in. Looks like Shadowburn potentially could stay on the Doomfist, not the Doomfist, on the Pharah here at the beginning of this map.
I do like that. If he continues to hover around the air, get some more farm. I mean, besides Grim Reality, you're not going to get much punishment. Envy is going to have to decide who he protects. Does he go for the supports? Does he help out his tank? And they're committing. They're going to use the Pharah. And Shadowburn, a great Pharah player. We've mentioned it before, and this is not good. You have Fate super low on the health here, so you don't want him to get picked off early into this fight. But right there, you have Shadowburn not being contested at all. He's just continuing to apply damage. They end up losing Agilities, though. And Immortals, they're going to be tucked away in the corner. So far, no one's been able to go in there and cap it just yet. It's going to be all about getting the picks, getting the kills that are necessary. Shadowburn takes out 2 Grim Realities and Kareev. So you lose out on the DPS, you lose out on the healing, and now they lost out on their tank. Bye-bye Spree just gets shot right, or bye-bye Envy shot right into the air. And FaZe will get control. I like this Pharah pick here.
Well, you see the predicament it puts Envy in, right? I mean, he's diving in with the rest of his team, wants to protect them. And then all the damage coming from the left side from Shadowburn. When he goes to the left of that little health pack room, he's able to just put in a ton of damage with the rockets, and then it forces Envy. He goes to turn at him, then his teammates die in the front, then he goes back to fight on the front side, just leaves his support, so you just get pelted with rockets there as FaZe Clan takes the first fight.
And Grim Reality is going to switch to 76 in response. The Soldier 76 is really good at countering the Pharah, so they have to keep him alive. Carpe, though, right onto the back. Kareev can't stay alive. And look at what FaZe is doing here. They're just forcing him into really awkward positions. Barrage is out, Envy using the defense matrix, and that's going to be all he has there. Self-destruct as well, but it won't matter. That will be a hold. If they can, there you go. I was going to say, like, if Fate maybe stays alive, maybe he can get one of his teammates in there, but no, there was nowhere there for the support. They're out of it. 53% gain so far for FaZe.
Yeah, and what FaZe does there is they let like 2 players get to the point for Immortals. They take out everybody by their mega health pack, and then they go back towards that point. They use the res, and then they take the point right back before Immortals can even get control of it. But now Immortals, you have a Sound Barrier and Primal Rage coming in here, and Agility is getting very close to the Meteor Strike. They're going to get engaged there with the Sound Barrier.
And Carpe's been such a nuisance that Immortals taking him out quick in the fight will certainly help them, because now they're looking to re-engage. Self-destruct's going to be in the air. How many kills did they get? Meteor Strike now, and you saw the Lucio running away from that one. Here comes Agilities. They're on it. They're forcing them out, and this is looking like a cap for them. So close to being able to make this one happen. Grim Reality on the move. Envy with Defense Matrix, just seeing if he can keep himself alive in this fight, though. And also, you're going to have Rockets really close to a Resurrect, at almost 80% now, tucked into a corner. This is just in a glass case of emotion, really. And Envy's going to have to bail. So close, so close. If they make this one happen next, they will go up and they will win this match.
Yeah, you do have Immortals. They'll be able to take the point back there towards the end. They needed Fate to use a Primal Rage. They needed Grim Reality to come in with Attack Visor to be able to do it. But man, did they use a lot of ults there.
If they had Rockets with the Resurrect, I think we would be seeing a much different turn.
Yeah, maybe they're able to withstand that, but Immortals able to get the point back here. 99% for FaZe Clan. Really just one fight needs to go in their favor. Rocket's going to be very close to a res. You're going to have a Primal Rage, and then you're going to see the Rocket Barrage coming out of Shadowburn here. The Defense Matrix eating a lot of it up.
Yeah, exactly what you want. Defense Matrix forcing it. But wait a minute, they're going to get back cap. They get back cap. So now that means that they're just going to have to get onto the point as fast as they can, but no one's going to be there to respond, and they can't get back in. And Immortals will lose this, going down 0-3. FaZe with the win. And I'm actually, a little shocked that Immortals didn't keep anyone by the point. I mean, kudos to FaZe for forcing him out of that fight. What did you find, X?
Yeah, I mean, they just had to back out. The Rocket Barrage comes in, a lot of pressure. And then it was just weird. I mean, Immortals backs all the way up to their Mega, and then they never actually get back onto the point. And I believe we saw that on King's Row, where Immortals never actually got back on to the cart. So just some weird plays out of Immortals there towards the end, but FaZe Clan able to take it in a Game 5.
Well, that's going to do it. And we had mentioned it before at the top of the show, right? Season 0 contender champions, Immortals, now are going to be 0-3, and their next matchup is going to be against Rogue.
Yeah.
So the road doesn't get easier here. If they want to go 1-1 this week, ideally they wanted to get 2-0, but now they have no choice. They have to win this match. It was a very critical matchup against Rogue, and for FaZe, they're clearly establishing themselves as a very sound team, clutching it in situations where it matters most.
Yeah, I thought you saw FaZe there, really clutch up in the Game 5, but I think you saw Immortals. They played much better than they have been over the first 2 weeks. I think you see, how good this team really can be. They just fall a little bit short there in Game 5.
Well, that's going to do it, folks. Our first match for Friday on the books, and it will be FaZe coming up 3-2, and there's going to be a very happy Swedish man on that desk. Let's go ahead and send it over to Puckett to get his reactions.
That's right.